the basics that we're going to go over, like shared resource site, that sort of thing. And then we can just take most of the time to talk about the site and your guys' site visit. That was what, last week, was it?
This week.
This
Sunday.
week? I don't know what week it is. It's it's been long. Let's see. Right. Great. Let me know if everyone can see that okay. Great. So this is our midpoint check-in call for Central Florida. We had our kickoff back in October. Is that right? I don't think you guys opted out. Maybe you did.
No, we had it.
You had it. Yeah. Okay. I remember that. So this is the next chance for us to kind of check in, where we're just going to get into a lot more of the details. The agenda up here is kind of a roadmap for the conversation, but it's meant to be a very collaborative call, and we definitely want you to chime in if you have suggestions or questions. We're going to do a lot of screen sharing today, and we can make changes in real time on the map while we talk right now. Yeah, in terms of introductions, I think there's only friendly faces here, so we can kind of get right into the call.
I've never met Jason.
Oh, I keep forgetting that you guys haven't, like, the EPCs haven't met you, Janice. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I need to give you your shining moment.
I always meet Jordan.
Yeah.
Who I usually deal with. So now I have another J. I love all the J's, by the way.
And our initials are identical, so you got two JPs.
Hi, Jason. I'm sorry. I'm new. I've only been here for about 3.5 months. So I wanted to introduce myself.
Well, welcome to the party. And you are in definitely good company. So.
Oh, I know. I think Hannah's I think I've seen Hannah more than a lot of people that I work with.
Awesome.
But yeah, and Holly's I love Holly. I had the great honor of meeting her in person last month. Or no, November. Holly, it was December,
yeah.
It was December.
Well, I had Holly on Monday, so la la la.
It's not a competition, you guys. We don't have to fight over Holly. But
Holly's like, no, please continue.
Right.
No, Jason's great. You guys are in great hands here. He is in Central Florida. He's in a lot of Texas markets, kind of all over the place. Jason's been with Event 360. How long? I always forget.
It's kind of weird, but all total, about 13 years.
Wow.
Officially on the EPC only side, just the last couple of years. So I was part of a special project for a decade with one of our other clients, coordinating all of our medical resources.
Oh. So you guys are going to have a great ambulance here, is what we're saying.
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome. Great. So just going over some housekeeping first, we wanted to plug the shared resource site again. Holly, I know you're familiar with this, and Janice, you as well. But, always good to mention, PanCan does a really great job with keeping the trainings updated, adding new ones, providing some refreshers. In particular, I've called out a couple resources having to do with the event route. Did you have a course lead last year? Did you find someone?
Oh, yes.
No? Okay. Totally fine.
Hannah,
but that's because he was moving. So I'll reach out to him, and we did speak with them over the summer, and he said that he should be able to do it, but we'll just double check with him.
Okay, great.
Hannah, that's really important, right? From what I'm noticing, to make sure we solidify a course lead. So, because if we don't have one, then you guys will supply maybe between a volunteer and a staff person from 360 will possibly be able to do it.
So we like to mention this early on, just because, as we've done it in the past few years, we definitely lean on the affiliate to identify a volunteer route lead. Since there's so few of us Event 360 staff on the event, sometimes it's 1 or 2. We don't really have a staff person that's able to be dedicated to the route operations. So we do really lean on the volunteers to identify somebody and get them up to date with these resources. It's not, it's not the most difficult thing in the world. If anything, it's a time commitment because they do have to be there like early on the day of, getting there the day before, kind of like the rest of our staff and like our other core volunteers. So yeah, it is a big position. And sometimes affiliates have people that come back year after year, they love it. Sometimes it's people, spouses, sons, like just grabbing someone to do it. But we try and make it as intuitive as possible. Some routes are different than others. We'll get into the route a little bit, especially since we're at a new place this year. But if it is possible to get a course lead, that will really help you guys out the day of so that you don't have to grab someone else to do it. And if you do have the same person as a couple years ago, these resources are probably a bit of what they already know. But if it's someone new, or if you ever want to check in on how we do the route things, it's a great place to go. Overall, also just, a recommendation to poke around the training folders, see if there's anything that's been updated with the new year, thing like that. We also wanted to check in about the deliverables timeline. This should look the same as October and pretty similar to last year's. So since we're in the middle of it, we just wanted to check in. All of these have been uploaded to the shared resource site, and on today's call, we're going to go over them in a bit more detail. So the route map is on Google My Maps at the bottom of the site, as you know, and the site map and the vendor tracker are going to be in the document library, and those were uploaded 2 Fridays ago. If you haven't looked at them, no problem. We're going to go over them on the call today. And I know since the site visit, we might be kind of looking at some new map, some different, just some satellite viewing. So this might be a bit different than like your typical site map, since we got to that site a little bit later than usual this year. But yeah, where we are now is just in this reviewing the documents on Market Call 2 phase. And then you'll have till the end of the month to get us any more feedback based on this call and based on looking into these further. Anything we get from you by the end of the month, we're going to incorporate those changes into our second round of documents that'll be updated on the 9th of February. After this, you'll have some time to look this over and get us any more feedback, any final changes, updates, anything like that via email by the 16th of March. So you have all of February and half of March to solidify things. Email us with any questions. If we need to set up a one-off call, we can totally do that. But March 16th is kind of our like big bad deadline, which gives us quite a bit of time from then until now, but it goes by really fast. So I want to keep that in mind. We'll then take everything, put all the changes into our final round of documents, which will be uploaded on the 23rd of March. And then we'll start our pre-event calls to go over these, make sure everything looks good, mark it with kind of like a capital F final, to put in our event book on the 17th of April. And that's about a week before the event, where we'll have everything that you could ever need in there. Yeah, so quite a few chances to edit everything and make sure it looks great going into like the next stage. Do you have any questions on the timeline at all?
Nope.
All good? Cool. We also did want to check back on these infrastructure changes. I know we touched on these in October as well, but just to give you a reminder that you might see some of these changes as we move forward with creating those site maps, that sort of thing. Again, for you guys in this expanded package, one of the only things you're going to be seeing is that there won't be a t-shirt tent on the map. Something else to keep in mind is that start-finish balloon archer columns. Forgive me, I know we probably mentioned this in October. Do you traditionally have a premier sponsor for your? Yes. Oh, awesome. All right. Great. So then you guys won't have to worry about that, and you'll get your truss as usual. Last thing to mention, just our weather contingency. We wanted to make you aware of it. We do have plans in place to deal with any weather, whether that's for you guys, super hot, rainy, I don't know. I don't know about cold, but you never know what could happen. So whatever does happen, we'll be looking at the forecast about 10 days out from the event to see if anything's going to be hitting you guys. And if it does look like it is, that's when we'll initiate ordering some of these extra pieces, whether that is sidewalls, shade tents, coolers, anything that you might need. You know, if it's looking like it's wet and hot, which I know can happen to you guys, we can combine some of these elements. But we'll definitely be figuring that out a lot closer to the event. If this does happen and we activate some of these, we will let you know. So that day of the event, you're not like, oh my God, it's raining. What do we do? So we'll kind of keep you in the know with that. But any
Hannah,
weather related.
I'm sorry, I do have first of all, I am manifesting great weather in all of the affiliates, but especially
Thank
mine.
you. Thank you for doing that.
But so 10 days out, and I actually I've been meaning to ask this question. So 10 days out, you guys look at the weather.
Mhm.
And obviously, especially Florida, things can change pretty rapidly. If 10 days prior, 7 days prior, it looks like X, do you come prepared for X just in case X does really happen? Or do you understand? And I'm sorry if I'm not wording that correctly, but
Oh, you're good. No, you're great. Yeah, we have some really weather focused teammates that like really pay attention to the weather up to the day of, like, and what's happening the morning of during the event. So it really is, once it's those 10 days hit, we really start paying attention to what might hit you guys. If it does look like it might rain or that's in the forecast, yes, we will be
okay.
ordering those tents. We won't be waiting until like the day before, just because, you know,
Yeah.
we want you to be as prepared as possible. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, because I know you're on the actual like ordering side of this. But is there a deadline that we stop these orders? I know sometimes the tent
Okay.
companies.
Good. No, this is a great question. So just for the general understanding, and this is for all markets. So about the week before, we will make determinations on adding or losing things that we do or do not need. That's just a very general statement. So if you guys are, you know, you get that last minute team and they've made their fundraising and like, you know what, they deserve a tent. We will work with the tent vendor to make sure that that is supplied. As far as, you know, some of the weather contingencies are concerned, we have folks on the ground a couple of days before as well. So they'll be communicating back with the command center in California to be able to communicate, yo, hey, Florida, it's Florida. Things are happening. So we'll have some things on standby with the tent vendor to be saying, all right, hey, maybe we need some tent walls. We need a couple extra shade tents. You know, whatever the situation is, we'll have that very much in mind and we'll communicate that pre-event. You know, Steph, who is most likely going to be your event lead, who also lives like 15 minutes from the site, also has a really good understanding of, you know, hey, it's 2 o'clock in Florida. Guess what's happening? It's raining. So, you know, all of those things are very much top of mind. So if you have any like very specific concerns as we get closer, always communicate that back through Hannah. And, you know, we can make sure that those dreams are realized. That's it. I mean, that's what we do.
Thank you.
And I do know in the past, looking at the feedback, a lot of the complaints that we do get, it's about the heat and how intense it can be. So definitely shade tents are good for this market, and probably your Miami and Tampa too.
Yeah, and I think that's why I asked, just because April could be, I'm sorry.
Anything?
April could be like, yeah, it could be cool. It could be
Yeah.
really hot. It could be sunny. It could rain. I mean, it's one of those, you know, it's that transitional period in Florida between coming out of the beautiful weather into the not so beautiful weather of the summer, which I say. So anything can happen. It's like my springtime in New Jersey. So I just want to make sure that we're prepared. And I apologize. I know I don't want to kind of hold us up. I just want to make sure, and I know I didn't bring this up, Hannah, in the last three of them that we've done, but I just want to make sure that we're prepared as far as, and I'm sure we will be, but as far as shade tents and the heat and, you know, and just want to make
Well,
sure that
see,
we're,
it's a good thing you have the people you have, because Holly and I already discussed that in person, and I already have stuff on your maps.
oh,
But
thank you.
I
Okay,
got
JP,
you.
you know what? The other one's Jordan. You're going to be my new JP. That's right.
oh, you
They're
are so
both
Jersey. I love
JP.
it.
Let me keep talking. It's going to come out even more.
That's so funny.
But I'm just wondering how long it's going to take you to ask me where my Philly's from. So,
Ah, you're Philly.
yeah.
Oh, see? Oh, the
So we
unifier. I
can
love Philly.
have the conversation versus, Taylor pork roll, or, that
No, it's no,
conversation
no,
there.
no. It's not a pork. No, no. I know how you call it, but it's not.
No fighting, people. Come on. We already established this.
Love this. Love this.
I now have to. Now I have to just. It's so hard. I'm like trying to look for a diners. That's my new mission in Florida. I'm always looking for diners because I come from the diner capital of the world. I'm like, where are there diners here? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go for breakfast if not a diner?
You're gonna have to tell us that our event staff can meet you there.
Oh,
Great. So yeah, I mean, as Jason said, you guys are covered with that. He's keeping a close eye on it. We all are. We're gonna talk to the tent vendor. We're in communication with them right up until the event. So you're good there. But thank you for asking. These are great questions. It's great to talk over. So I can kind of pass the screen share over to Jason now, and he can take us through how we are with the site, talking about the site visit and the route, and then we can talk a little bit about the vendor order after that.
Awesome. All right, bear
And
with me here. Technology is not my friend today.
it's not working for anyone today, but oh
All
great.
right, here we are. So this is a live action version of the current map that we are working on with the City of Orlando. And I will preface this conversation that the City of Orlando, unfortunately, is very, very slow at this point. So there's a lot that is still a hypothetical. With that being said, I'm going to show you two separate maps that you do not have in your files yet. We had our site visit on Monday. Holly and I were able to walk the site. It's a great park. It's going to be awesome that everything is self-contained. We don't have to worry about a lot of outside resources. It's quiet. It's tree lined. There's ponds. Very, very happy to be working with this park. So on the screen, you see this is the back part of the park. And when we go over to the route map, I'll kind of give you a little bit more spatial direction. Your layout is a core layout, not an expanded layout, just as an FYI. Your numbers are under 700. So there are some adjustments that we're going to have to talk through. I know you have a premier sponsor. Currently, I do have a trust set up for you. However, I don't know that that is completely included. We might have to figure out some other signage options. That's probably going to make everybody's life a whole lot easier anyway. So we're going to do that. And I know we have question about Grand Club with you guys. You have Grand Club representation. I don't know that you were slated for a Grand Club tent. I put one in anyway. So we can work all the way back through to Renee and whoever to make sure. And, I know when Holly and I talked, you have about 16, 17 Grand Club.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we need to make sure they're taken care of.
thank you.
Well, with that being said, so this is the upper part where the cricket fields are in the park. So when I show you the big map, as you enter the park and come all the way through, it loops at the very, very top of the park, big open expanse backed up to the trees. It's a great spot, to be perfectly honest. We have it kind of set up in a standard fashion to make sure that everything is accommodated. I know there's going to be question about the number of tents that you have as far as the teams are concerned. We can always adjust those as we move forward. And like we've been talking about, maybe we don't have 4 sponsored tents. One of them becomes an extra shade tent. We can discuss those logistics as we move through. But this is the basic setup. With the start finish being down here on the bottom side of the path, closest to the parking area. This parking circle will actually also be part of our survivor and staff parking area. Food truck right front and center. PJs and our tent lines right with the stage in the middle. Your backdrop is a bunch of absolutely gorgeous trees, and it looks very pretty.
Yeah.
Now that I have told you all that, let me tell you something different. Had a wonderful meeting with the park ranger staff. These cricket fields are used pretty much every weekend throughout the course of all year long by a cricket club. So we're not quite sure what the condition of the field is going to be once they get playing in earnest. And they had recommended us to move down to the front side of the park, which is flatter, closer to the parking, closer to the bathrooms, and actually probably just the best version of the site. Still within the same park. It's probably about a football field away. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Very similar to what we have up on the top side, just we flip it around right off to the right side of the map here, and I will show you on the big course map, is their baseball complex. They have a couple of really, really nice baseball, softball fields there. They also have like a snack stand, which sadly will not be open, but they have indoor flushable bathrooms that are probably the cleanest
Yay.
like park bathrooms I've ever seen in my life. It was awesome. So men's and women's, everything is handicap accessible, absolutely beautiful. All the pathways connect, so start finish, they will come in through the same area, except not at the same time. Again, working through the tent layout, I have included shade tents. There is another pavilion, Holly, like the one that we saw that was a little bit far off to the side on the top. This one would actually be part of our layout. So we can put Purple Play down there, shade area, like we can set up all the toys and games just out front where my cursor is. I have included the Grand Club, and again, I went heavy with all of the sponsor all-star team situations that we've had in the past. If we need to adjust, we adjust. Not worried about it. So,
Jason, I'm sorry, maybe I missed it. What's the big deciding factor between both locations?
Number one is going to be the city. So, if it sounds like the cricket club that uses the park is not a sanctioned, recognized renter of the park. So, if our rental goes through as planned, we bump them. They may not know about it, trying to avoid conflict. This actually is much flatter, and I think is going to be a little bit easier to access from parking, which is up here to the right, all the way up and down. The bathrooms are closer, and I think this is going to be a much better situation for us. Plus, we're closer to the main road, so we get a little bit of extra, like, hey, look what's going on over here. Come get your
So
purple
why and why don't we just go move forward, just trying to secure this portion of the park?
Well, and that is the question that was coming out of my mouth next. If you agree with me and my assessment that this is your best option, I'm just going to go back to the city and say, hey, we're good community members. We are mindful that you have folks that use this park every day. Let them play cricket in the afternoon. We're going to set up down here where this is nicer. And I think, number one, that makes us look great. But number two, it solidifies that, hey, we know what we're looking at. We talked with the Rangers. This is our best spot.
Okay. Holly?
So if you guys are in agreement, Holly was with me. She knows the park. We can say
yeah. I'd like to defer to Holly because Holly's the one who's going to be on site.
I like the idea that we're down closer to where the parking and the restrooms and everything are. And we're still able to kind of keep everything kind of compact, you know, because like in the past, it was so spread out. And even though we had, 400 or 500 people there, it looked like we maybe had 100 there because everybody was just spread out. And in the photos, it wasn't as exciting to look at, because it just looked like a few people there. Where this, we can keep everybody kind of, combined into one location. It's closer to the pavilion, which I think a lot of people will, they want their shade, and I see quite a few trees. So they're going to be into that too.
And you're going to use the pavilion for it's going to be a multi-purpose pavilion, correct?
Yeah, so the pavilion
Mhm.
down here has existing seating, so some of the picnic tables and whatnot. We're going to put the kids' games out on the lawn so they can be out in the sunshine. And this way, you know, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunts and uncles, whoever,
Mhm.
they can be under here watching the
Perfect.
kids enjoy 5 feet away.
Yeah.
As opposed to the top site where it's a little bit further from the site and again spreads it out. I compressed this down a bit based on Holly's recommendations so that we do have that more intimate feel. And we're still able to get our 5, 7, 2,000 people that show up into a good space. And yeah, closer to the bathrooms. Now, also with the bathroom area, beautiful large shade tent area over there. So if we do run into a situation where it is Florida hot and ridiculous, we do have people that can go over there, get some shade, come back and forth.
Perfect.
And it's literally walking across the roadway there, the parking lot.
So
So
Holly, I think if you're okay, I'm okay.
I'm okay.
that's what I
Yeah.
wanted. Awesome. So let's go over to the other map so I can also give you some frame of reference as to what we're looking at here. So this is the park, and I'm gonna scroll a little bit in and out just to give you your frame of reference. So the first site that we were talking about is up here, all right, in the cricket fields. Would have worked fine. Based on the recommendation, this is the field that we're going to be using down by the B marker. This is that pavilion where the bathrooms, big shade tent are, and it is literally across the parking lot, a 50-foot walk. So small pavilion is part of our setup. Pretty great setup.
And it'll be closer from the parking from the school, right? Because before they'd have to go all the way up to the top of the
that's why I like you, kid.
park.
This is why I like you. You're in my brain. Yeah, so primary parking is going to be throughout the park here, which gives us about 100 spots, which is fine. We'll dedicate that to our volunteers, our survivors, and our staff. General parking, we're going to try to work with the Eagles Nest School, elementary school over here to make sure that we can secure their other 300 or so spots. And then it's literally a path walk. Boom, they're in the site. It could not be any more perfect. I am stoked about it. All right, so
Hannah, JP, real quick, I'm sorry, another question. And this is as far as the flyers are concerned. Once this is completely approved, are we going to update those flyers so we can?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Once we get the green light from the city of Orlando that everything is locked, all the updated information is going to come to you guys. It's going to go on all the resource sites, all the website, and basically, you know, announce that, hey, we're here, we're open live. Here's where the parking is. Here's your directions. Everything that we have for all the rest of the markets. So, all right, as far as course management is concerned, and this is one of the reasons why it's kind of, you know, really important to have some support on this. While it is a straight line path, you really can't diverge except for one spot that we'll have to mark off. We do need to make sure that we have somebody managing where they're going. So very straightforward. They start out down here at the site. They're going to go around the bottom, work their way back up, take the outer loop, come all the way up around the big lake, come back down. And the side here where it shows Metro West Boulevard, there is a walking path there. It is not the street. So this is all the lake pathway. They'll come back in behind the sports complex, come up around the cricket fields, come back in and back down to the site, bing, bang, boom. It is approximately 2.8 miles. So we're just shy of a 5K. If somebody who is running and really wants to time themselves, they'll end up running back around the small lake again.
Great. And do we have a short loop, or are we good with just the longer route?
If we want to do a short loop, you know, like a stroller loop, we can most certainly do it through the bottom part of the park here without making it too difficult and have them, you know, go around a couple of times. Otherwise, expanding it out, we're going to end up crossing this or crossing this, and I don't want us to do that because that means police support, which we can't get.
I think the short, Hannah, correct me wrong, we do want a short route, correct? Because it is Florida, it can be hot, and if we have older striders or
Mhm.
Yeah, that's completely up to you guys, honestly. If you've had a short loop in the past,
I
if
can build one
participants
in.
want that, then
Mhm.
we absolutely can do that. That's basically, if you guys want it, then we'll figure out how to make it work.
Holly,
Right. And are we
I
okay
would,
with looping?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll definitely want a short loop because they have the little ones, a lot of them.
Right.
But yeah, our people are fine with looping because we used to be at Crane's Roost and we had to loop like three times, I think it was there.
Right.
So yeah, they'll just, all we have to do is just let them know and they'll loop however many times they want or till the kids get cranky.
Yeah. Yeah, and my thought was if we're going to be down here, they're just basically going to follow a path up by the school, back around the lake, come up to where the split is, where they come back and just make a right turn instead of going straight. And they
That
can
sounds
do that
perfect.
one or two
That
times.
looks
And
perfect.
yeah. And this way, if somebody does get ornery and they're done, it's a very short walk back.
Yep.
Perfect.
Finally
I will
free.
include that in as a separate line that'll appear on my maps as well.
Thank you.
It's good.
Any other questions, route, site at this point?
Nope, I'm good.
No, good.
Thank you, Jason.
Awesome. And I will flow back to
great.
you.
I did have a couple more questions for you guys, just tying up stuff. Firstly, Jason, do we have time constrictions here? Do we have to be out by a certain time? Just think, no, we're good here.
No,
Awesome.
we're putting in for a full park rental, so we will essentially own the site. Usually
Good.
until
So,
it closes at dusk.
Okay. And it looks like last year your guys' timeline was Event Village opening at 7:30. The opening ceremony was 8:30. Walk start at 9, and then conclusion with everything at noon. Do you want to stick to that? Do you have any concerns? Did it work okay last year?
It worked okay for us. I think that's been our timeline since I've been involved. So yeah.
Yeah, if it's not broke,
Yeah.
we always like to ask just in case, stuff does come up. But great, I'll just keep that the same. I feel like I had another question for you guys. I did want to say, Jason, thank you so much for mentioning. I'm so sorry. I completely missed that you were one of the core markets, and I gave you completely the wrong information on that slide. So I can mention that in our follow-up email, some of the details on that. I'll also just share this infrastructure changes slide one more time, just to make sure we're on the same page here. Okay, here we go. So again, just to reiterate, so sorry, you guys are going to be this core package. All the changes that you already saw on the sitemap is what is here. So it's kind of good that we already went over that. One more note about the start finish. Yes, if you are a core package, if you have that premier sponsor, PanCan is looking this year at still getting one of those balloon arches or columns, or people are doing feather flags. And then you will get a nice big sign for your premier sponsor next to that start finish. So that is instead of the truss. So
yeah, because we don't get a trust because we have a premier sponsor, but we don't have over 700 striders, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So Holly, maybe or at the end of the month meeting, maybe we can further discuss that.
So will the budget for the balloon arch or the feathers or whatever, will that come out of 360 or is that coming out of our budget?
You guys will get some expense added to your budget for this. So it won't be coming out of just the budget you have right now, because that would just completely deplete it.
Right.
So they'll give you extra in order to get this. So you're not completely on your own there.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Thank you. Great. Just wanted to touch on that again.
One other question for the AV. I know that we need to go through our DJ. Do you have a list of suggested equipment that I can give to him to make sure we're good to go?
Yes, we do. We'll send that over in the follow-up email as well. We have like a nice chart for you of everything that you're going to need, so that you can just basically give that to the DJ and they'll know what to do with that chart and what it means. Because yeah, I mean, we don't expect you guys to know like all the specs, all the specific speaker, you know, things. So we can get that to you.
And I know I spoke to Jason about this, but it's just like a really hot button for me. For the podium on the stage,
Mhm.
if it can pretty please be an actual podium and not an orchestra stand.
Yes, yes, it can be. I remember that note from last year, and we were like, oh, what? That can totally happen. That's funny. Yeah, don't want to be up there with that little flimsy metal. I think I know what kind of thing you're talking about.
Yeah,
We'll get you a
I'm
podium.
sending you one for Christmas, Holly.
awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be a standard elementary school version, by the way.
Yes, on your own. Great.
Sweet.
If there's no other questions about this, we can move on to just a really quick summary of the vendor tracker for this year. Can you guys see that okay? Did it switch over to the next screen? Yep. All good. Maybe not.
I mean, it's tiny, but I can see
Here.
it.
I know, right? Let's see. Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah, there's a ton of information here, so it's going to be pretty tiny, unfortunately. But we do recommend you go over this a little bit on your own time, just because this summary is going to be pretty quick. We're going to go through this in the next like 5 minutes or so. So when you have a little bit more time, this will be good to look back on. So as you can tell, this might look a little different from last year's vendor tracker, or IRF, as we sometimes call it, the infrastructure request form. We basically did a total revamp of it this year, so I just wanted to show you that so that it didn't seem too confusing. We used to have it sort of divided up by vendor. Each page represented like the tent vendor, the AV vendor, that sort of thing. And you could go by each vendor, see what they're providing. This will still be included near the bottom, but we have reformatted it so it's really more divided up by the area of the event. So we think it's kind of more of an intuitive way for like whoever's on the ground to be looking at things. I will say this first page disclaimer, this isn't a lot of information that you're going to need. Stuff like this instruction box, these notes will probably be taken out in the next version. This is just mostly for our purchasing staff. Where we can start to look is the vendor summary. So this is where you'll see the names of the vendors as we start to book them. We don't have a lot on here right now. That's totally fine and normal for where we're at in the planning stage. As you can tell, it's very long, and there's a lot on here that you most likely will not need on event day, and honestly, no PurpleStride event will need. So things like fans, plywood, that sort of thing. Basically, we've kept this document with everything that we possibly could have on it since it's new, just so that we don't accidentally delete anything that you guys do need. We'd hate for that to happen. So this is the longest that this document is going to be, and it's only going to get shorter. So on the February drop, or maybe as late as the March drop, we will have a lot of these extra things taken out. So you won't have to worry about, oh my God, like it says fans, we don't have those. Do we need them? So it'll make a little bit more sense on that next drop. Then we move on to orders and distribution, and from here it goes kind of area by area. That being said, the first three are kind of general. So we have number 1, general site supplies, number 2, route supplies, and 3 down here, general site services. These aren't specifically in one area. This is kind of just like all the extra stuff that doesn't go in one place, we put it here. Things like radios, they're not in one specific tent, trash bags, that sort of thing. So again, as it says, just the general idea of things. Again, lots of zeros. These will be taken out, and you'll only see what you need when it comes to that very last document. After that, we have why do you stride? And from here, it basically just goes tent by tent with everything you could possibly need. So we have your tent, your weights, chairs, tables, quick covers. We even have the pipe and drape for your banners. And as you go through here, it just covers anything that you'll be looking at the tent and seeing. This is just so that whoever's checking this on the day of, they can just go tent by tent, look at the survivor's tent, check off everything on there, look at PurpleStride, check off everything on there.
Nice.
And when it comes to things like the all-star teams or the sponsor teams, these are placeholders for now. We have quite a few of them. Once you get your sponsors and all-stars, we'll put their names in here. We'll have the correct amount. So yeah, these are just the placeholders. Last thing to mention is in the future, we'll have this vendor report down here. And that's kind of what I mentioned as like more of the traditional IRF format with a list of the vendors and what they're bringing. So it'll have, you know, you're like, oh, I have 15 tents. I have 150 chairs, that sort of thing. Just so that whoever has this document on the day of the event, they can compare it with the tent invoice, be like, everything looks good, check, check. It looks the same. Do you have any questions? I know this is pretty quick run through. Maybe hopefully it makes a little sense.
I'm good.
All good? Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Great. Awesome. Well, you know, with you guys, we will keep having updates on our new site, on the event village. So we'll definitely be in contact after this. The conversation does not end here. And we'll be getting you any updates from the site that we need to get you, get us any questions that you have. Keep in mind the January 30th deadline for any additional changes that you want to see on the next round of documents. But after that, we still do have some more time. So not everything needs to be worked out then. We have more time. We can talk over email. We can always set up a secondary call if we need to. But if we don't, the next time we'll talk is on that pre-event call in March. And we'll go over all the final details. We'll have, you know, a lot of time from then until now to talk. So if there's anything you guys need, just let us know. Jason is here for you guys. And so am I.
Thank you so
Thank
much. It's a
you.
pleasure meeting you, Jason. Hannah, can you hang back for 1 second after everybody gets off at
Yes.
a meeting? It's a question about Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it.
thank
And
you.
thanks for everything
Great,
you do,
nice to meet
Holly.
you, Janice.
Pleasure.
It'll be fun.
Bye. Bye, JP.
Bye-bye.
All right, let me stop the recording.